What's up, YouTube? You checking out the Frequent Flyer, and this is my review of the MJX X600. And this is the hex right here. This thing is a beast. I really like this hex. It flies really nice. This thing has a ton of power. It's actually 7.4 volts. The battery is 7.4 volts, so enough power being generated or distributed between the 6 motors there. So, and that makes this thing a really nice flyer, very powerful. This thing doesn't have a lot of pitch to it. It has just enough pitch to get it going fast though. So when you're doing turns though, if you're banking turns, the turns are going to be somewhat wide, so you have to be careful of that. This thing swings out really far when it does turns, and it just makes for a different flight experience though. It flies really nice. This actually completes my collection of the series, the X series of hexes, or hexi, however you say that. That's the X800, and this is the X900. I have a black X800 floating around here, but for a size comparison, check it out. Let me lift this thing up. So this thing is huge compared to that. Let me put that away, especially compared to this little guy. So let's bring something you guys might be more familiar with out. This is my Cyma X5C, but this is the special black edition. But as you can see, the size comparison, I could barely fit this whole thing in the frame, but yeah, it's larger than the Cyma X5C, only because it has 6 motors though. I imagine if it had 4, it would probably be the same size. So this is effectively a mini. The lighting on here, the lighting on this hex, it's really nice, especially if you have the white version. I imagine with the black version, you probably can't see it very well at night because the LEDs are on the bottom. They're mounted on the bottom, so I'm guessing you probably won't be able to see the LEDs shine through the body with the black version. However, with this white version, this thing just glows at night. You can see the light shining through the body, through all the arms. It has blue in the front and red in the back, so that's awesome. The lights on this thing actually light up. My favorite used to be, let me adjust this. My favorite used to be the X800 out of the series, but now upon receiving this thing is just awesome. It has a few things over the X800. Actually, this one has an on and off switch. I don't know why the X800 is the only one in the series that doesn't have an on and off switch. So I thought that was odd, but this thing does have an on and off switch. It has more power than the other ones because it's 7.4 volts instead of 3.7 volts. So this thing is just awesome, man. Compared to the others, this is the largest one. It's larger by far, and they all have the same pitch angles and all of that stuff. They all do constant flips on auto flips on a third rate. However, the third rate and the second rate on here are the same, so there's really no intermediate mode. There's just low, and then there's high, and then there's expert mode with the auto flipping, but it's the same pitch and yaw as the second rate. So just not enough pitch. I think that's the only thing, just not enough pitch. I would like a little more pitch on this and it will be perfect, but this thing is very near perfect. It flies really nice. However, this is supported by deviation firmware. Those of you who have Devos flashed with the deviation firmware, the MJX protocol is now supported, and this thing flies really awesome with the deviation settings and stuff that you can do to it. You can have the pitch, you can fix everything on it. As a matter of fact, you can make the pitch really deep on it. And this thing is very powerful. So flown with deviation, it's really fast, it's nimble, it's even more awesome. However, it's awesome in this form here. This is the transmitter here. The transmitter is a really nice hobby grade style transmitter. It has an LCD display. It could be a little confusing with the button placement. You have to switch your rates down here. So this here, if you guys can see that, yeah, this little oval here, when it's not solid like that, that means you're in beginner mode. And when you hit it again and you see half of the oval filled up, that means you're in the high rates mode. And you hit it one more time and the whole thing is filled in, that means that you're in the auto flipping mode, the expert mode, they call it. With auto flipping, it's okay, it's not bad. I guess anything beyond 90% of input on the right stick will get you to do an auto flip. And you can pretty much fly it around without doing the auto flip by mistake. However, if you run into some danger, if you're about to hit something, you forget about it, because as soon as you try to correct it, it's going to flip on you. So I'm not really a big fan of that. The auto flipping on the high rates, I wish they would get rid of that. All the companies that are doing that, please get rid of the auto flipping on the high rates and allow us to fly high rates. Give us, I think they should have given us another rate, a high rate, a third rate without the auto flipping, with more pitch on the more pitch and roll and yaw on it. I think MJX should have done that, but I think they did a really nice job with the design of the X600. The whole series, they're all designed the same. They look the same. The hex looks really sinister. This thing is hard, man, the way it looks. But back to the transmitter. The transmitter can be switched around. There's a lot of options you have with this transmitter. It's a really good transmitter. I like it. This right here is a throttle limiter. So if you turn it all the way to the right, then you're given full throttle potential. But then if you turn it down, all the way down, it's going to limit how fast the throttle is applied. When you kick the throttle up, it's not going to fly up really fast. It's going to go up slower. So, and you can adjust this anywhere in between. So I think this will make a great hex for a beginner. The larger ones are always easier to fly. This is very docile in low rates, and you can limit the throttle. So that's awesome. This will make an awesome beginner's hex. And it has all the trims on here. All the trims work. And also you can reach every mode on here. You can put it in mode 1, 2, 3, and 4 by switching these little switches here. You can have it. You can even have ratcheted. You can hear that. It's a ratchet on it right now on the throttle. You hit it again, but then it's self-centering. Hit it one more time and then there's no ratchet in there. So a lot of options. You can do it on this side too. You can have this side with no self-centering, and here it self-centers, but it has the little ratchet in there, as you can hear that. And then you hit it one more time and it doesn't self-center at all. And here, no ratchet all the way on this end. So you can actually fly in all modes. And down here you switch the aileron and rudder. You can swap it back and forth over here to effectively get to mode 1 or mode 4. So a pretty awesome transmitter here. This button here is the 1 key return, and this is the camera function. You can mount the camera on here. The same camera that fits on the X800 also fits on this. You can start and stop the camera with it. I believe this is the headless mode function as well if you hold it down. So it does have headless. Headless works just about as good as it does on any other average quad. It starts to lose its bearing after a while, but it works pretty good when you first start it. So oh yeah, this another good thing about this transmitter. Back to the transmitter. The transmitter only takes 3 AA batteries, so that's awesome that it works on only 3 AA batteries. Now back to the hex. This thing is just awesome, man. It's a modular design. It's very easy to repair the motors. So everything is plug and play, and they went a step further with this one. Whereas if you get a bad motor or anything happens to the gear setup there, you can just there's just one screw you have to unscrew on the bottom here, and then there's 3 on the top here. Well, actually, there's 2 on the motors too. So to make it long story short, just this part can come off. You can take the screws off of just the little cap of the arm, and this comes off. And when you pull it, the motor comes out of the socket. The socket is about here, so the plug is about there. It has an extended plug micro connector there, and so when you snatch this off, it unplugs the motor, and you have the wire about that short there with a micro connector on the end of it. So onto the motor, you can swap the motors very easy. So very easily swap the motors. You can repair the gears. Actually, I had a crash with it when I was doing the motion function with the X600 transmitter I was flying it with, and I had a crash, and I don't know if a rock got under it inside the gear or what, or did I just mess up the pinion in there from crashing while the prop was spinning really fast. But it clicks one of them. I think it's one of the rare ones. Let's see, it's this one here. So it doesn't hinder flight or anything like that, but it's just annoying hearing that click when it's flying. And the other ones are smooth, because this thing also is very quiet. This is a very quiet hex. Surprisingly quiet for its size. This thing sounds like a Latrax Alias or something when you're flying it. That's how quiet it is. I'm not sure if there's ball bearings in the setup, the gear setup. However, yes, this is a geared motor setup. So that's the reason why it's so quiet. Just a really awesome aircraft. This is a really awesome multi-rotor. You can, oh, I forgot, you can toggle the lights on and off with it. Let's see, what's the, I think if you hold the 1 key return button, we'll find out in the flight footage, but I'm pretty sure you can turn the lights off. You can fly this with the X600 transmitter and use the motion function, where you use the accelerometer inside the transmitter to fly this thing. And you can toggle the lights on and off and everything with the transmitter from the X600, and everything works. You can do everything. So yeah, pretty nice hex. Very nice flyer. Let's go check this thing out in flight. Oh yeah, before we go, I forgot to tell you guys that it does come with a full set of props. So there's 6 props in there, and you also get, it comes with the prop guards. So you can see there on the box what it looks like with the prop guards on it. I never put the prop guards on it because I think that this thing is entirely too large to be flying indoors. So I never flew it indoors. I flew it outdoors the whole time. And it comes with some landing gear. It comes with landing gear, but the landing gear is a little tall. It sits up about this high with the landing gear on it. And it just looks like it won't be balanced. It wouldn't be balanced, and I don't have a camera on it, so I didn't bother to put them on. I like the low profile look of it without the landing gear. So it cuts out some of the weight by not installing the landing gear. So I've been flying it around like that. But it does come with landing gear, and it comes with the screws as well. There's little screws in there to screw these things on. The prop guards do screw on. with the screws, and as well as the landing gear. There's one screw, two screws on each landing leg to get it secured on, and it comes with a USB charging cable, and that's it. Let's go check this thing out in flight. Okay, so this is the outdoor flight demo of the MJX X600. Got the stock transmitter, and we're on low rate. So this is the pitch on low rate. So it's really docile, as you can see, on low rate, the pitch and the roll. This is the yaw, super slow yaw. Yeah, so that's the yaw. Let's see if we can get it into. Okay, so this is the highest rate you can get in. You can see that's the pitch there. So it's a nice pitch. Okay, so let's look at the yaw. That's the yaw there. Slow yaw. So when you're making turns, it's going to be a wide swinging turn if you're moving fast with it. Got to keep that in mind. But this thing can really move out. You can see that as it's flying forward, actually the pitch gets deeper when you're holding it there for a while. So let's check out some flips. So this does an automatic flip. Once you push the right shoulder button, it just does an automatic front flip. You can get it to do back flips if you pull back before doing it. Let's look at it again. Okay, that's the back flip. You have to pull back. Now, let's see headless mode. Oh, let me see, I messed up the heading. Let me turn it off and then turn it back on to set my heading correctly. Okay, we're going to use this as our base heading, straight ahead. Okay, let's try headless mode again. Okay, we're in headless now. So pulling back, forward, back, left, right. So headless mode does work. Now let's try the 1-key U-turn. That's the 1-key U-turn there. You just hit the left shoulder button and it'll come back down the base heading. And let's get out of headless mode. Okay, one of these toggle the lights as well. Okay, the left shoulder button toggles the lights on and off if you're not in headless mode. So the only way you can do side flips is to put it in the third rate. Let's see. Okay, we're in the third rate now, so you can do side flips now. Forward flip. It's starting to rain out here. So let me show you guys the throttle limit. The throttle limit. So if I turn it, I actually had the throttle limit set to low. So if I turn it back up to high, you guys can see that. Let me get this get it into expert mode, out of expert mode, so we don't accidentally flip. Okay, so let's look at the throttle again. This is all the way up to the max. That was the throttle punch at max. Now we're going to turn it down all the way to the left. Now look at the throttle punch. Not much slower, but it is slower. It is again. Okay, so that's pretty much all there is to show with this one. That's awesome. Oh, this thing flies really long. 10-minute flight times, 10-minute plus flight times out of this one. It's usually more quiet, but it's a little more loud now. Only because I crashed it and one of the gears in the back motor. One of the gears on the back motor is warped or something, or I got a rock or something in between it. So that's pretty much it. That's all there is to show with this one. That's it, the MJX X600. Thanks for watching.